Episode 70, episode 70. It's episode 70 of Talking with Tasha. Oh, yeah. All right. Welcome back to Talking with Tasha. This is not a Lost Cast episode. We're going back to some of our regularly scheduled programming, and today's guest is Nicole Lowe. You may know her on Instagram as Wanderer Nicole. She's an advocate for plus size fashion, body positivity, sustainability, just to name a few. And she's from right here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. But before we get into that, let's chat about a couple things, shall we? Are you watching Task on HBO? We're going to talk about TV for a second. Task on HBO, there's one episode left. Mark Ruffalo's in it. It's from the same people that did Mayor of Easttown, which I loved. It is suspense, family drama. I'm rooting for like the guy that killed somebody and stole drugs. It's weird. It makes you feel like, why, am I rooting for this person? I don't know. Does he actually have a heart of gold? Is it just his circumstances? Check it out if you like that sort of thing. Also, so happy my Law & Order Thursdays are back. Law & Order SVU, Organized Crime is back on NBC, not just on Peacock, although the season that is now airing on NBC was from last season on Peacock. So I already saw it. Why are you doing this to me? But whatever. Below Deck Med, Aisha, Chief Stew, she's back. The deck crew's falling apart, but that's okay. Love me some Below Deck. You know I do. I'm trying to think. What else have I seen lately that was... Ooh, on Netflix, it was trending. I did watch that movie, The Woman or the Girl in Cabin 10 with Keira Knightley. It was interesting. I do think... I understand why the book was popular because I do think reading it would be more suspenseful than watching it. Watching it, I'm like, really? Would someone actually do this? But I feel like reading it, I'd be totally into it. Plus, rich people do weird stuff. They just really do. Oh, and I finished Severance, but I'm going to save that conversation for when I talk to Trey on the next Lost Cast because, woo, baby, that was a whole lot on that Apple TV. And what we talk about a lot in this episode is social media and content creation and just how the internet's a fickle place sometimes. So I want to say thank you to those of you. I got my hair done this last week and I made a fun little reel, as I do after I get my hair done. And it did really well. I mean, thank you. Please keep following me and liking more of my content. That would be nice. But anyway, let's just jump into the conversation. I'm rambling now. Anyway, enjoy this conversation with Nicole Lowe. Do I just call you Nicole then, or should I call you Wanderer Nicole, or what's yours?
Just Nicole.
Okay. So I don't know, what do I call you? Like, you're an influencer,
I don't even know anymore.
But
like, I don't really do the influencer stuff as much anymore as I used to.
I think it's still...
I mean, you could just say content creator. Yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, I kind of did a little, and I know your blog hasn't super been not super recent, but your blog, your socials, all that kind of stuff, you kind of cover a wide range of things that you care about. You have, your plus size fashion, body positivity. What do we want to call it? The like thrifting. Why can I not think of the word?
Sustainability.
Yes, sustainability. Just all that kind of stuff. So did you start out with a mission in mind, or did it just kind of evolve into something, or how did it kind of start?
It's evolved a lot. So like I started out in, I want to say it was 2019. I just randomly saw there's a plus size influencer that I don't even follow anymore, but her handle was like Rosie B Me.
Okay.
And I would see her posting outfits that I was like, oh, that's like really unflattering. Why does she wear stuff like that? And then it kind of like dawned on me that I shouldn't be thinking that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to challenge myself to like wear things that I've been internalized to not think are flattering or, like things like that. And so I had already been posting my outfits a bunch online. And so I just decided to make it more body positivity and fashion, and I wanted to just show off outfits. That was kind of the first goal. But then when I got acquainted with Tara Shepherd Boutique, then I really dived into the sustainability stuff and I realized how bad fast fashion was. So I wanted to stop promoting that as much. So it was like a slow journey from, accepting any brand that wanted to send me free clothes to like now being like, oh no, I'm only going to work with brands that I think are good for the world.
Right. Well, that's good. Yeah. I mean, you live and you learn, right? I mean, for
Yeah.
sure. So I guess I don't know your whole story, but and you even just said some of the influencer stuff isn't quite what it was or what you were trying to make it be. So is that your full-time job, or do you have something else you have going on, or?
Well, I have a cat racetrack in my house, but to make money,
Mhm.
I do work full time as a social media specialist for a local retailer, and I've been kind of doing that type of role ever since I graduated from college. So I've basically always been working full time in a marketing role somewhere. I kind of bopped around a lot for a while, but yeah, social media is my full time and part time job.
There you go. Yeah. And your handle is Wanderer Nicole. So is there, I mean, travel is kind of part of it. Like, where have you been, or what is that just more like being a tourist in your own city kind of thing? Or do you actually try to go out and do more?
No, I always loved to travel. Like when I was in middle school, I got invited to one of those people to people student ambassador trips.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you saw your friends going on those,
Yeah.
but I went
Actually,
to Australia.
I was picked to go on one, but my parents were like, "We don't have the money."
Honestly, I'm still shocked that I went because like we lived in a trailer park. Like we didn't have a lot of money, but somehow they kind of taught me how to send letters to all these people at our church and stuff to like fundraise to go. So I got to do that. And then in college, I traveled like almost every semester for like photography club
Oh,
stuff. We
nice.
would go to conferences or just on like photo shoot expeditions. And then I did a study abroad semester in London as well. So,
Jealous.
yeah.
I've been to London, but it was only for 3 days or something, but it was
Yeah, I love
really
it
liked
there.
it. Yeah. We went on a Harry Potter, like, Muggle tour is what it was called, because it was, like, a
Okay,
walking
yep.
tour, and but I kinda turned it into also a Love Actually tour because I was like, "What?"
Nice. I love it.
Our tour guide was
It's a
like,
lot of the
"Okay."
same places.
Yeah, my tour guide's like, "We get it, you've seen that movie."
That's hilarious.
But, yeah, that was my life. I liked it there a lot, and, because when I went to Europe, I did 7 countries in 10 days, and people were like, "Oh, so where was your
Mhm.
favorite?" And I was like, "Well," I feel like saying London is cheating as well because they speak English, so it kinda,
Yeah.
but it was a really fun city still, and it was really clean and nice and all those things, but also, I know you do post quite a bit about, Sioux Falls, living in Sioux Falls, so is there
Yeah.
anywhere, or is there somewhere you consider a hidden gem, or if someone comes here that you're like, "Oh, you have to do this?"
I usually just tell people that they should do the whole Phillips Avenue. Obviously, that's kind of like the cliche thing, but just checking out all the shops and the falls is really cool. Obviously, we're kind of unique here to where we have the falls just readily available, really close to a lot of fun stuff, but I don't know, like I partnered for a while with Sonny's Pizza or Sonny's Pizzeria,
Mhm.
and I still find people who haven't been there and don't know about it, so I always recommend they go there just because John, he uses like local ingredients and just is really involved with the community and has done some really cool things. So I like to send people to him. We also love Pizza Cheeks. We haven't been really, we've only been there once since they got their own place, but when they were at the Hello High, we were there all the time. And
John's been on the
they,
podcast before, so yeah, he's a friend of the pod, as they say. I don't know.
yes.
No, and I kept giving him crap because I was like, "Hey, John, when am I gonna get on the wall of famous people or whatever?" And he was like,
Right.
I don't know about that." But then I was like, "Okay,
It's like,
can I at least have a pizza or something named after me?" Like, I'm like, "Can I get something?" Like,
yeah, it's like the college age kids now might not know who you are. Like, it's like those of us that are like 30 and up
yeah,
are like, "Oh yeah, we know
yeah,
Tasha."
yeah. But also, I find a lot of college kids, if you're just kind of were implanted here, you probably wouldn't know anyway. But yeah, anyway.
Yep. Yep.
Anyway, you mentioned earlier having those kind of snap judgments about oh, they're wearing unflattering stuff. Why would they do that? Blah, blah, blah. And I think that's also something I've tried to be better about, especially like I always say the example of going out to Wildwater West in the summer or something.
Yes.
I might see someone in a swimsuit that I'm like, oh, I would never wear that. And my first thought might be to say something. But in the back of my head, I'm like, or is it just cool that they feel confident enough to wear it? Like, it's not your, why do you care? You know?
Yes, I had a similar epiphany while at Wildwater West once,
Yeah.
like sitting in the swim up bar and just being like, wow, everybody's bodies are just like here and we're just having a good time. Like we don't really care. Sure, maybe I'm seeing some tattoos that I think look stupid, but it's not their like that was their choice to put that on them. So I can judge them for that, but not going to judge them for their body.
Yeah. And it is one of those things where it's like, and if little Natasha, that was, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still self conscious to a certain extent, but junior high, high school, I didn't even own a swimsuit because I was too scared to be in public in one or
Yes.
whatever. And so if little Natasha could see me now, you know, it would be it's kind of wild that I even, but I think that's part of
Yeah.
growing up too. You just realize like nobody really cares. And if they do, get a bigger problem. Like, if that's all you have to worry about, like congratulations. Like
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, people are way more concerned about how people are perceiving them than how they're perceiving other people. So,
yeah. And I worked part-time women's retail, and I tell you, those fitting rooms turn into therapy sessions sometimes. It is,
oh yeah.
and again, I'm not going to say obviously we all have things about our bodies that we don't love and whatever, but there were times some of the things people would say, oh, this or that. I'm like, what? I've never even thought about worrying about that part of my body. Like
Yeah.
some of it was
That's
so wild.
yeah, my first day working at a women's clothing store back in college, a lady said that she didn't want to buy a pair of pants because the pants that had the number of the size that she identifies with didn't fit her. So because the fit of the pants was weird, she wouldn't buy them because she didn't want to go up a size. She will only buy things in the one
Yeah,
number
yeah.
that she's comfortable with. And I was like, wow, I can't imagine being able to be that picky. Like I I take what I can get in the plus size section, you
Yeah.
know?
And as someone again that has worked in women's retail, and also I have been bigger than this, I've been smaller than this. So literally in my closet, I have everything from size small to 2XL, and they all fit me because women's clothes
Yeah,
don't make sense. So,
exactly. Yeah, like you can go to one store and you can get three pairs of pants in the same size and none of them will fit, but some will be big, some will be small. It's
that was the thing we
yeah,
would
that's
do if a top came in that I liked or a dress or anything. I would grab a couple sizes, or even sometimes if let's say there were 3 size 12s or something, like I would try on all 3 just to see what
yeah,
and so yeah,
yeah.
you can't it really kind of forget about the number because and if you're worried about looking smaller or if that's the thing you're worried about being more flattering, sometimes going up a size you actually look smaller or better
Yeah,
or
you don't look
whatever.
like you're squeezed into it. Yeah. Well,
Exactly.
that's something that I actually really like about some of the sustainable brands that I've worked with is like they when they want to work with me, they want my measurements. They don't want me to just say this is what size I am. They want me to send them my measurements so that they can look at their size chart and pick out the thing that actually fits. They don't want me to just be like, "Oh no, like just give me the
Yeah,
3X."
yeah,
Because that might not be correct and they don't want to send something that's not going to fit either. They want to be really exact.
yeah,
And some of them even make them to size. Like you can just say, oh, I want this top. Here's my measurements. And they'll make it to your size instead of just having a whole warehouse full of clothes sitting there that might not fit somebody.
yeah, that makes sense. And you would think that that's how most clothing brands would do it because if it's however many inches around the waist, that should just be what it is, but that's not. That's not how it works.
Yep.
Going back to the plus size fashion and body confidence, what has your journey been like with that? And how did you, I mean, we talked a little bit about like Wildwater West and stuff, but like how did
Yeah.
we get to, or how did you get to this point where you're just comfortable in your skin and it is what it is kind of thing.
Yeah. It was an interesting kind of journey because I was always super self-conscious and never really thought much of myself until well into my college years. I started to learn how to dress a little bit better, like for my body and everything, and then, started to have friends pressuring me to get on dating apps and actually try to meet people, that aren't just like from my friend circle. And it kind of opened my eyes just to be like, oh, people actually do want me. I'm not just some, you know, like I had a really, really poor body image at that time. And just seeing people actually want to, like, oh, hey, let's get a drink. I want to meet you. I was like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
So then I was like, okay, like it being like fat or chubby or whatever you want to identify yourself as, it's not it doesn't mean that you're never going to have happiness or be attractive to somebody. It's so breaking that kind of like stigma in your own head and like the internalized fat phobia, I think, is something that was huge for me. And then just like I started following a bunch of fat people on Instagram and people who self-identify as fat and want to neutralize the word,
Mm-hmm.
and just seeing them post like in outfits that were a little wild to me, and even like in their underwear and just like posting unapologetically, I was like, okay, like just exposing myself to those bodies was like, it made me feel like mine wasn't so weird
Mm-hmm.
because I saw other people that were similar to me. So then it was just like, it just kind of like broke a wall down that I had in my brain that, sometimes tries to build its way back up every once in a while, but for the most part, it's if I choose not to wear something now, it's more because like I just personally don't find it to be my style. It's not that I don't think I'm allowed to wear it.
Right, right. That makes sense. I also thought it was interesting working in retail how many just, I don't know, older women maybe even were like, "Oh, I can't wear that. I'm too old." And I'm like, "Says who?" Like it's I don't know. There's so many rules in air quotes that people think there are.
Yeah, yeah. Once was tasked with taking headshots at a corporate meeting for a place that I worked, and it made me really sad to hear all the women being like, "Oh, you can edit out my double chin, right? Or you can smooth all my wrinkles, right? Or you can." They wanted me to like Photoshop them to not look like themselves.
Right.
And I realized that like when you go to those professional headshot studios, a lot of them do that, so that kind of becomes the standard, but I personally would rather see a photo of somebody that actually looks like them, so it makes me sad to think people want to put this fake persona out there,
Mhm.
and not accept themselves.
Yeah. The whole like filters and all that stuff too is I try not to use any ever. So
Yeah, I know. I dabbled with them when they first came out, but then I started noticing, oh, I turn off the filter and my nose gets bigger. That's so I didn't realize, like a lot of people don't realize that it's like actually changing the shape of your face. And there's been studies out there that, like it actually alters your brain's perception. If you're always looking at yourself with a filter on, you won't recognize your real face anymore after a while.
that's just
And so it's scary to think about that.
yeah, it is. I mean, the only AI stuff I really used is I look like a dog. Like
Right. Yes. Yes. There was that unfortunate period of time where we all had the dog filter on all the time, and I'm glad that that's over. Smart.
oh gosh, that's so funny. Okay, so what advice or just like words of encouragement even or something would you give to somebody that's looking to gain some more confidence or feels like they like we talked about be like, "Oh, well, I can't wear that because of this." You know what I heard a lot of? I'm
Yeah.
kind of okay, now I'm going on another tangent. If I could have a dollar for every time someone said, "I can't wear sleeveless, I don't like my arms," I would be a millionaire. And
Right.
I'm like every Memorial Day, I do a free the arms post because I'm like,
Nice.
stop wearing a cardigan when it's 100 degrees. Like you can wear sleeveless, it's fine. Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
Um so what I don't know if advice is the right word, but what would you say to somebody that's
Yeah.
in stuck like you were before?
Yeah, if somebody, was feeling like they needed a little inspiration for their confidence, I would probably recommend that they try to do a deep dive like on Instagram and find creators who have a similar body type to them, as well as creators who are maybe a few sizes larger than them, a few sizes smaller than them, just people that they jive with, like I'm not telling you to follow somebody who has a bunch of opinions that you hate, but somebody who is like doing the work, who is at your size that you can kind of expose yourself to, because I honestly feel like the exposure thing was like the most passive way that my brain was able to slowly rewire how it pictured myself, because I would start to see the other creators in myself when I was getting dressed. Like, oh yeah, that looks like something that person might put together. Or, like I would see somebody like, oh, they have like, a really similar body to me and look at them. I think that they look good.
Right.
But if I were to wear it, I would have a hard time. So just kind of like exposing yourself to that over and over again. And then like maybe finding a safe space to try out some new, if you are wanting to try a certain trend in fashion that you're intimidated by, wear it over to a friend's house to hang out and do craft and wine night or something. You don't have to wear it out to the bar for the debut, you can kind of like tiptoe into it. But definitely like just exposing yourself to other people already doing it is going to give you a lot of ideas and break down those barriers a little bit faster. And I mean, a lot of people say just to wear it around your own house. Maybe practice like wearing it at your own house and turn your camera on and get some B-roll of yourself just kind of living your life, and just get used to seeing yourself from different angles, because I think that's another thing. Say you go to a wedding and you're looking through an album and you see a photo of yourself from an angle you never see yourself from, it's like a little bit jarring. You're like, "Oh no, that's what I look like."
We've all been there for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So like getting just used to like seeing yourself that way. Like when I was first making reels on Instagram, I had to get used to that because I would just kind of walk in camera, do a little spin of the outfit, walk back. So I would see every angle of myself. And, sometimes I was like, oh, wow, I mean, I hope not everybody's looking at me from that angle all the time, but good to know that that's how I look.
Yeah, yeah. And I did a similar thing. I post every once in a while when I'm at the gym, if I do like a step class or something, sometimes I'll post that. And one time I almost didn't post it because when we turned a certain way, I thought I looked bad in my leggings or whatever. And I was like, you
Mhm.
preach all the time about all these things, like just post it. You know what I mean? We're
Yes.
always our own worst critic. And I didn't, luckily I didn't get any comments that are like, oh my God, what are you wearing or whatever. But like,
Yeah.
which that's going to be one of my questions too. Let's just jump to that, I guess. How do you deal with some of the negative side of the internet? Are there, the trolls and the comments and this and that? Do you just
Yeah.
ignore it, or what? How do you deal with it?
I think it really depends on other outside factors sometimes how it affects me, because there have definitely been times where I see the comments and it just makes me laugh, and I, delete, block, whatever I have to do and move on with my life. There were other times when I would wake up in the morning and it would be just like a wall of comments because something hit the algorithm just right and just got the bad side of of the app to see it. And honestly, like I learned to use the tools to block certain words and phrases just so that I wouldn't even have to see it at all. So like in the settings in Instagram, you can literally just block entire phrases, you can block emojis, you can turn off commenting with GIFs, like you can do all kinds of stuff to stop it at the source. But of course, like when it still breaks through, like I would, kind of try to take intentional breaks from checking the notifications. I would definitely try to delete things rather than trying to fight with people in the comments,
Mhm.
because that usually just didn't end up being very productive,
Mhm.
because those people are trolls. They're not here to have their mind changed. They're just being mean. So I just didn't want to expose my audience to seeing those things, because they're probably following me. They want to they want to see positive, uplifting things about people with their same body type. So I don't want them to see the mean comments. So honestly, it was just like deleting, blocking, resisting the temptation to fight with people in the comments. I might have lost that battle a couple times where I had to slap back a little bit, but and learning which platforms are like more friendly for your content too. I found that my Instagram community was a lot stronger than the Facebook community, and
I was just gonna
if
say, is Facebook where all the meanies are? Because it is
you
kind
know,
of.
I've been surprised. I always thought it was weird, like if a brand, say Torrid, they posted a photo of me, but they did not have permission to post, and they ended up having to delete it. But it was like from a boudoir session that my friend did just for fun with me. And there was just so many comments that I had to like try to stop looking because they were just so cruel. And that's the platform where you have your full name and your family and your job and everything linked. And you're being more mean there than like on Instagram where you can be completely anonymous. That is what always kind of shocked me. But I kind of learned to stick to Instagram because that was where my people were. And I'll just randomly post on Facebook, every once in a blue moon
Mhm.
just to keep the, you know, family updated because they
Yeah.
follow, the blog page there too, so they like to see what we get up to.
Yeah, yeah. When I was on the radio, a lot of times if we had negative comments about the show or whatever, we didn't usually delete them, but our favorite thing was our followers or our fans would usually they would come in and be like, why, like, they would stick up for us so we didn't
Yes.
have to, kind of thing, which I always kind of liked seeing that happen sometimes.
Yes. I had that happen too on my page sometimes if I missed something or, if it was just still there. Don't mind my cat's toys making noise
That's
in the
fine. That's
background.
fine.
But yeah, I had that happen a few times where my one of my followers was like getting in a whole beef with a troll in my comments, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna let that ride out for a little bit before I interact with it.
Yeah. And I'm like, it's all engagement. So thank you, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yes, there was a point in time when I was in one of the first Reels bonus programs on Instagram, and I was making like quite a good amount of money for it being just like a side hobby of mine. And so like when I would get trolls, I'd be like, "Oh, thanks for helping me earn a few more cents off of this post." Every time you come back and you watch it again, I'm making a few more cents.
Yeah.
So just keep coming back.
Yeah, thanks. And I had, people that didn't like me so much on the radio, and they would what I didn't understand is, one, why do you keep listening if you hate me so much? And then a couple of the
Right.
people, because I eventually, if they emailed me or something, I then knew their name, they would follow me on Facebook and Instagram too. And I was like, if you hate me so much, like, why are you following me? You do not have to do any of this. I don't understand.
Addicted to the drama.
Yeah, I guess so. And most of the time, like you said, I don't engage, so I don't know what they're getting out of it, but whatever. Anyway, let's move on. What advice would you give to others that maybe want to get into the kind of influencer game or content creator stuff? Do you have little tidbits or pointers or anything?
Mean, I would say you just kind of have to start and you just act like you already are a content creator or influencer when you're starting out. And it feels really cringe at first because you're getting like very little interaction, but you're like kind of building up your page to kind of like show people your why. That's something that I talk about a lot when people ask me for advice is so you need to identify like why are you doing this for yourself? And then also why would somebody want to follow you? So what are you giving them that makes them want to click the follow button? So are you giving like practical tips for how to dress a certain body type, or are you giving practical tips on how to shop as a plus size person or whatever your niche is? And just kind of keep checking in on that because if somebody doesn't know why they would follow you, then they're not going to follow you. But if they have a clear, oh, this is what this person does and this is what they post, then they're like, sign me up. I want to follow this person. That's kind of like the most important first step to me. And then don't don't be scared to start because it does feel really awkward to be walking around town with a tripod, taking pictures and videos of yourself, but the the results when you post don't look awkward, they don't feel awkward. So I honestly just I always keep a phone tripod in my car in case the inspiration strikes and I want to take content
That's smart,
and
though.
just find a place and I just pull over and set it up and there we go. It's like making a reel is so much faster than it used to be, like doing styled like photo shoots all the time, like wanting everything to look very editorial. Now with reels, like you can set up your phone, walk back and forth in front of it for 30 seconds, get in your car, edit it down to 15-second reel, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
It's super easy. And then just like interacting with other people doing the same thing as you is like really how I grew. And it was a lot bigger on Instagram, like back in 2019, 2020 era. People were very much like collaborating. Oh, like you're doing the same thing as me. I'm going to follow you and I'm going to share your content and you're going to share my content. And that's kind of how I met a lot of friends that I made through Instagram. That's how I found most people that I still follow today. People like to support people who support them. So
Yeah.
support the people who are already doing it and be a supporter, not a hater. Don't see it as a competition and just have fun with it because if it's not fun, then it's going to start to feel stressful really fast and then you're going to quit and it you know and that's no fun either to waste a bunch of time and money on buying stuff to start up a project and then not fulfill it. So
And you mentioned, what was it, Torrid, that posted a picture of you that they shouldn't have, and so that was bad. But I also saw
yeah.
on your website and stuff that you've worked with Fabletics, Lane Bryant. How did some of these partnerships come about? Did you reach out to them? Did they come to you?
So most of them are the brand reaching out to me. So Fabletics, they must have like back in the day, I think it was at the end of 2019, so I was still like pretty new at it. They just emailed me and they said, "Hey, we see what you're doing. Do you want to be an ambassador?" So they must have been searching like plus size hashtags and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't really know what that means, but sure. And then to my surprise, every single month I got an email with a link to like order my monthly, outfit and then post it. And, I did that until it didn't really feel like it served me anymore. I was like, I've got enough workout leggings and I'm not really going to the gym, so I need to stop doing this. But and same with some of the other ones, like Altered State had the plus size side of their store that was first a Beautiful Soul, and then it was I already forget what
I
they
don't
rebranded to.
remember either.
Rula.
Yeah, that's
Rula.
it.
And then but I was on their monthly ambassador thing for a while too, and like they weren't letting me pick. They were just like sending me a box every month, and then I was supposed to do two posts in a story or something. There's been a few like I would go onto influencer platforms. There's like Aspire, there's oh, I'm not gonna be able to think of them off the top of my head now, but there's a lot of platforms where you can sign up to be an influencer in their platform and you kind of connect your Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and everything and you put what you do, you put examples of your like past work in there and then brands can discover you, but also brands can just post kind of like a job posting. They can post like a campaign and you can apply
Mhm.
to join it. So then, like, I did things like that.
I think one of
And
those
yeah, like,
apps is called Kale too. I got sent a
oh,
link to that from Scooters, but then there's other brands on there too, kind of like you're saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that one, but it doesn't surprise me. There's a lot of them out there because for a while everybody wanted to be a content creator,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just there's endless opportunities depending on, if you want to get paid or if you just want to accept gifted items. I kind of got away from the gifted items unless it was, a brand that I really believe in, just because a lot of times those agreements were like we give you this free thing and then you give us photos or video and we own that forever and we can use it for paid ads forever. and that's not really fair
Yeah,
to
yeah.
the creator because you're doing the photography or the model, you're doing all this work and you're not really getting good value
Yeah.
out of it. So in the beginning, it's nice to accept that just to get experience, but I can't live off that
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah, yeah. I hear you. Let's go to the back to the sustainable fashion for a second. So I don't know if when did this become important to you, but I mean, even lately, I've heard more and more about fast fashion, like Temu and Shein or Shein or however heck you say it. Like all these
Mhm.
things, just in fashion in general. Like I love Project Runway, but even they have episodes where they talk about how wasteful the fashion industry is and stuff. So, when did you kind of have that realization, and what, and again, like maybe even advice or tips and tricks, like how can people be more conscientious consumers and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So, in 2021, I realized like I was seeing maybe it was like in the local Sioux Falls hashtags or somehow I like discovered the Tara Shepherd boutique downtown and I saw her posting stories about plus size items in the brands that she was carrying and it piqued my interest because as you know, anytime you go to a boutique that says they have plus size, like the 2X is basically like an extra large and it doesn't fit.
Yeah,
It's not true plus size.
true.
And
Yeah.
so I'm like, let me just go be a little investigative journalist here and let's see if these clothes are actually plus size. And it was so awesome. Like the night I went in, it was like an hour before close and the gal working there, she is now my state representative.
Oh, nice.
But she was working and she was like so nice. Like she was like pulling everything in the store that came in my size. Like she was pulling it and she was bringing it to the dressing room and, putting things together. And I was taking selfies in the mirror to kind of like put on my stories later once I got home. And I was pleasantly surprised that most of the plus size stuff fit true to size or even some bigger. I ended up buying something that was, I think, a size large. And I was like, okay, cool. Like maybe intended to fit a little looser, but I like the way it fits.
Yeah.
And just going there and doing that kind of got the attention of the owner of the store. And I, posted some cute outfits wearing a couple of the items that I bought there. And she started, thinking, like, oh, I should work with her. And so I got really close with her and the store and I was just reading all their posts and it led me to, follow the brands that they carry at the store and it just led me to kind of want to learn more because I do like to learn things. So when I like see that I had a blind spot in the fashion industry, I was like, oh, interesting. Okay. So never gonna order from Shein again. I think I only ordered from Shein one time in my whole life. And then I saw the quality of it and I was like, yeah, that was a bad choice. But it kind of just, I was like, oh, there's this whole industry of people in these other countries who are being taken advantage of. There's all these chemicals, all this waste just like destroying the earth, and even like the fast fashion that's being purchased and then donated. Or one example is the NFL, like for the Super Bowl, they'll make merch for both teams as the winner, and then all the other stuff gets shipped off to Africa. And there are beaches in Africa that are literally just all textiles, just all textiles.
Yeah, it's so sad.
So
Yeah.
I like really made me be like, oh crap, I can't really be shopping at the rate that I shop at. This isn't okay. So I really, really give credit to Sarah Jabison at Tara Shepherd for kind of bringing all of that to my attention and then like me just doing more deep dives after learning from her.
Who are all the like I was going through who it could be when you said it was a state representative. I was like, wait, wait,
Oh,
wait.
so the state representative is Caden Whitman.
Oh, okay, it was
Sarah
Caden. Okay.
Jameson owns the store, but Caden Whitman is the state rep. Yeah, so she worked at Tara Shepherd when I first started going there,
And
and
can
she's
real quick, as someone that even lives here, I thought Tara Shepherd was all like soaps and stuff.
so you walk in and it's the personal care items in the front, and then you go further back and then it's refill items, gifty items, and like towards the back and middle of the store she has clothes. Like there are
Oh.
clothing racks at the front, but it's kind of scattered throughout, but the clothes are more towards the back. But I I get my deodorant, my toothpaste, my toothbrush, all that stuff there. And this sweater came from there. I get as much as I can from her just because I want that store to stay open and thrive. I send everybody to Tara Shepherd.
Well, I feel like now I need to look a little closer
And
because,
most of
like,
my on my water bottle are from there as well.
nice. Okay. Even I'm learning. Who knew? I'm learning more. Even I live here and I didn't know that. So,
Yeah, there's so many businesses that we don't know about, which is what's cool about being a content creator is getting to spotlight
yeah.
businesses that people haven't heard of before.
Yeah. And I'm going to give my friend Ashley, she owns Second Helpings, which is a plus size thrift store. So we'll give her a shout out too because she's doing her part. Reduce, reuse,
Yes,
recycle. Yeah.
I have I have been into Second Helpings before at her previous location, and I sold a bunch of stuff when I was moving once because we moved from a 3-bedroom house with a basement to a 2-bedroom house with no basement. So I had to get rid of a lot of clothes. So I sold a lot of clothes to Ashley at Second Helpings. And I am so glad that she exists and we have that in Sioux Falls. I should check her out more often, but I actually don't really shop for clothes that much anymore
Yeah.
because don't really have the budget to, and like when I do, I want to either thrift or invest in pieces that are going to last for a really long time.
I get that. I even told myself recently, I was like, okay, especially the last couple months, I had so many trips. And even though some of them were for work, you still end up buying like souvenirs or this, it still ends
Yep.
up adding up. So I was like,
Yep.
girl, chill out. Had to have a talk
Yep.
with myself. But yeah. Oh, okay. So walk me through your process a little bit. I know you said you keep a tripod in your car because you never know, but do you have a process? Is it idea, blog post, social, or is it just when it happens, it happens? Do you keep a calendar? Is there some sort of ritual? Is there,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Is there something?
Yeah. So when I was a lot more active doing the content creation more consistently, I oftentimes would plan for weekend photo shoots where I had all the outfits planned out. So if I had collaborations I was working on, I would have outfits for that. And then otherwise, if I just bought something new and I wanted to show it off or whatever it
Hmm.
was, like the new season was starting and I wanted to show like fall outfits, I would load up a whole laundry basket like full of outfits, put it in my back seat with my tripod and everything, and I would use my professional camera and I would just drive around Sioux Falls and I would stop at different places, do the first outfit, do all the photos. I had a little like my phone connected to my camera and then I would click the shutter and it would be the self timer. Put that like in my pocket or whatever, pose and do that over and over and over again and just move spots around Sioux Falls and take all the photos and then at the end of the day like my entire trunk is just a giant mess of clothes and then, go through and pick my favorites and then edit them. And there were times I would have to plot everything out on a calendar because I had so many collaborations going that I always wanted to do like a non-collaboration post in between every collaboration one
Hmm.
because I didn't want it to feel like my feed was just one giant ad.
Right.
So it was a lot. Like I would have to create extra content to put around all the ads. And that was just my own personal like rule that I had for myself and it would get a lot heavier like around the holidays, fall when everybody wants you to be buying stuff from them. But now it is a lot more sporadic. Like I will go a month without posting anything and then I'll post like 5 times in a week and then I'll go another month. So right now it's more like when the season is inspiring me. If the weather's really nice and I get to finally start wearing outfits that I've been like missing wearing, I do get a little bit I don't like to post the same outfit repeatedly, but nowadays that I'm more sustainable, I'm wearing the same outfit a lot. So I think that's been a bit of a roadblock for me is, oh, I'm going to stop at the same place on my way to work and take the same photo of the same outfit. So that's why I don't post as much now, but I still do try to do like little partnership things here and there, so that kind of gives me inspiration to do that again. And I like to find some places that are really like convenient for me. So right now, I drive by Colville Lake every day on my way to work. So I will stop there and take photos if I want to. Back in the day, I worked really close to one of the cute pedestrian bike trail bridges by the river. So I would go take pictures there. I like to have my little spots
Mm-hmm.
that are, oh, I know I can always get a good photo there. So that was kind of my process. Was okay, if I go downtown, I can find like 3 or 4 places downtown, and then I can maybe go to the Falls Park or maybe go to McKinnon Park, and then I have a variety of backgrounds to all of my content, and it's not just the same thing over and over again.
That sounds like a lot of work. So I understand why you don't do it quite like that anymore.
Yeah, but and I kind of slowed down once I wasn't single anymore. It was like, my weekends were just doing that, and now it's, oh, my weekends are hanging out with my significant other, so
I know what you mean though about not wanting to repeat outfits too much, because I had an event this summer where I bought a new dress for it, and then I'm volunteering at Dancing with the Sioux Falls Stars, so usually you have to look
nice.
pretty nice. And I was like, "Oh, I could wear that," but I was like, "Oh, that was just a month or two ago." Like
I posted pictures in that dress. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you
so
gotta go to Second Helpings and find something else.
right. Truth be told, I could just go shopping in my closet. I'm sure there's something that I haven't worn in a while that can, make a
Yeah.
reappearance. So, well, that's probably what will happen. Has there been a specific, maybe even back to when you blogged more or post or just a reel you posted? Is there one that sticks out that you got the most sort of positive feedback from?
Ooh,
Or like,
that's a really good question.
or was there, or even just like maybe not even the post, but is there an example or a time you remember even getting a DM or a comment that was just really, oh, this is why I do this, I'm glad I helped this person or whatever.
Yeah, I've gotten several of those, and they've often been at times where I was like surprised. Like it wasn't like I posted some like really amazing post the day before and they're messaging me. It'll just be like kind of out of the blue sometimes. They'll say, "Oh, I had to dress up for this event that I was going to." And I always grew up really self-conscious, so I never, like a lot of women who grow up plus size are scared to like try to look feminine and dressy because it's just ingrained in us that we're not good enough already, so why would we even try? So wearing a pretty dress and getting their makeup and hair done is they feel like foreign, but they're like, "Well, we see you do it." So it gave me the confidence to do it, and I'm just like, "Wow, that's huge." And I've had girls reach out to me even with dating advice. They're like, "You're so confident. How do you do it? What are tips that you have for me that can kind of quiet those like voices in my head?" And I have felt both terrified and very honored to get things
Right.
like that. Wow, you're putting a lot of faith in me to give you good advice, but I'm like shocked that you thought of me when it came to something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, just people telling me, "Oh, I wore shorts for the first time," or, "Oh, look at this dress I bought." I've had followers actually buy clothes that I was selling, like on Poshmark, and then they'll send me photos of themselves in
Oh.
it. They're like, "I never would have worn something like this, but, I saw you wear it." And so that's been really special. Yeah, I mean, it's funny, even I think it's the stuff that is the least produced that ends up getting like the biggest response a lot of times. It's funny.
Is that
You'll
just
send
life for real?
Yeah, you'll like edit beautifully, you post it, there's, like, nothing, and then, like, last summer, I took my cats to the vet, like, they were little kittens at the time, and somebody at the vet asked me to take a photo with them, like, holding them in my arms in front of a cat painting at the vet, and they posted it on their Facebook page, and then I stole it and posted it on Threads and on Reddit,
Mhm.
and, like, the outpouring of people who are just like, "Oh my gosh, all of you are so cute," or you, not the cats, "You are so photogenic," and I'm just sitting there, my hair was frizzy, like, up in a bun or something, and, like, I was just, like, at the vet, like, I, like, got up early in the morning and shoved my kittens in a cat carrier and went to the vet, and everybody was just, like, telling me how cute I looked. I'm like, "Oh, that's right." People actually really like authenticity way more than we realize. And so, like, when you see somebody who's maybe all done up, you're less likely to want to be like, "Oh my gosh, you look so good." But when somebody's just like their normal, neutral self, people like that. And it's nice to be reminded of that
Yeah.
sometimes.
But if you like to get all dolled up, go ahead. It is your choice.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. No, I do. I'm totally on board for that too,
Yeah.
because I don't really do makeup very much these days. So the days that I do, I'm like, oh, wow, I forgot I can look like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's all just funsies, you know? I
Yes.
even follow a couple makeup influencer people, even though I don't know why, because I don't wear a lot. And you'd think I'd learn something from them, but not really. But I even like when they're like, it's just makeup, it washes off, it's for fun,
Yeah.
it's not that
Yeah.
serious, that kind of thing.
Yeah. No, it's fun.
I know she's been sort of controversial the last couple years when her dancers sued her or whatever, but Lizzo always comes to mind when I think of body positivity and stuff like that. I always liked with her when she started coming around, and I'd hear sometimes people be like, well, if she's that size, she must eat a certain way or she must do this or that. And I'm like, but why do you assume a skinny person is healthy? Because just because you're skinny doesn't mean you're healthy. Like
Right.
that's always been my biggest thing where someone could be thin, but maybe they're a smoker or they drink a lot or, you just don't know. But because they're thin, they're automatically healthier than like a heavy person. But that heavy
Yeah.
person, like I remember Lizzo used to post videos of her like working out all the time. And see,
Yeah.
she's not unhealthy. Or even I always joke, I go to the gym 3, 4 times a week. I have to work pretty hard to still be overweight. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I hate that mindset that people have where like thin just automatically means healthy.
Yeah, no, I've seen that time after time, or like people will assume, like they'll think somebody is attractive just because they're thin, but it's like, well, what makes that person attractive? I've seen people do videos where it's, is this a cute outfit or is it just because the person's skinny? And like a plus size person will put the same outfit on and
Mhm.
it's, oh
Yeah.
wait, no, this actually is cute, or oh no, that wasn't a cute outfit. She's just skinny.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've seen people throughout my whole life who they'll have a thin body, but I see what they're eating and drinking and smoking, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I could run a 5K before you could.
Yes.
I
Or
feel okay over
or
here.
going back to the is this a cute outfit or are they just skinny? Also, especially in the celeb world, whatever. I see a lot of the skinny girls wearing really ugly clothes. So I don't I don't
You know,
understand.
it's okay, if that exact same outfit was on a fat person, you would make fun of them, but then you wear it and suddenly it's cute. Like I don't,
Yeah, but I
yeah,
don't
there's
like
such a
it just because it's on a skinny person. Like I still think it's ugly on them or whatever it is. Like maybe it's a color I don't
yes.
like or just whatever, but
Yes.
fashion is
Like the
subjective. It's
tourist
fine.
mom shorts that I think one of the Kardashians or somebody was wearing. It was like they looked like the worst mom jeans from the 90s that got cut right at the knee and with an oversized graphic t-shirt that was just like, that's not an outfit.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, there are certain and this is how I know I'm getting old because there's certain trends. I'm okay. I was okay with high waisted or even like mid rise because I was in high school in the double zeros and we don't need low rise to come back. That's fine.
Right.
But some
Yep.
of these kids are taking the high rise to a whole other level where I'm like, we would have just called that mom jean, like you said, like that would have been a mom jean and it wasn't cute. But I also get annoyed when if you do this, I mean no offense, but like tucking sweaters into jeans. Sweaters are too chunky to be tucked. That drives me
No.
crazy. I
I
can't.
will tuck a sweater into a skirt. I do that a lot,
That's
but
a
I would
different
never.
vibe though. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I would never tuck a sweater into jeans. I don't think the only thing I would ever tuck into jeans is like the front of a t-shirt,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I've
Like
never
the
been a
French tuck
tucker.
thing. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Or the other thing I can't get behind is the barrel jeans. I don't
Yeah,
like.
I've tried to put wide leg jeans on a couple times and I just hate the way that they look. So,
I'm okay with the wide leg, but the barrel where it comes out wide and then skinny again sort of, and I just can't. I don't know. I just don't like them. Anyway.
honestly, I haven't been jean shopping in years, so I probably should just re-familiarize myself with what's out there because I got in my comfort zone with all of my skinny jeans and I have one or two pairs of like straight leg that I'm like, okay, I won't look like a cringy millennial if I wear
Yeah.
these. But once
Um
it's negative, like 30 degrees out, I'm like, I don't care how cringy I look. I'm wearing the skinny jeans because I can put on my boots
they tuck
and
in the
I can put on my.
boots. Yes. Oh, but anyway, I was even a late adopter into the skinny jeans because the flare leg and wide jeans were popular when I was in middle school, high school. And as a chubbier girl with like wider hips and stuff, a skinny jean is really not the silhouette. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
too like whatever. It's
I
not
was a
what I was.
late adopter. Yeah, I was a late adopter as well. It took me a while. And I worked at, Maurice's in my freshman year of college, and, so getting to try them on at work, slowly was like, okay, I guess I can get behind this. But yeah, I've still got way too many pairs in my closet
Mhm.
because wide leg and I tried to do the flare when the flare came back and I just couldn't get my legs are short and I just need them to look longer, not like
Mhm.
wider. So
Yeah, and I find when it comes because I'm only 5'2", so I'm also not very tall. So when it comes to jeans too, it kind of depends also what shoe is gonna go with it. That's why in the winter I just feel like I always look like a frumpy dump because you have to wear like boots and stuff, and I just think I'm way
yeah.
cuter in sandals because to me, and this might be in my head again, I don't know, whatever, but like when I can wear an open-toed shoe or a sandal, I feel like it elongates the leg a little more because it keeps going. Whereas like boots cut off your leg. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I
so
100% agree.
yeah.
I tend to resist wearing pants as much as I can. Obviously when it gets to be -30, we have
Right.
a choice, but yeah, like I will wear tights or leggings under a skirt and then I feel like I just feel like I like my shape better when I have those on than when I have bulky pants on.
No,
But
I hear you.
everybody has like their preference and I'm just
Mhm.
glad that I'm at an age where I've figured out what I like. So I
Yeah.
don't have to keep buying stuff that I don't like and put up with wearing it for a whole season.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, so where do we see ourselves in the next 5 years? Do you think you'll start blogging more? Do you think the content creator do you think you'll take it in a different direction or try to do more of it? Or are you kind of cool with where you are right now where it's where you
Yeah,
wouldn't
I like where I am right now with kind of like doing it really casually on my own terms, but I also am not against kind of having it grow and blossom again. I think it would really depend on what direction, I take with my family. If I continue to work the same type of job for a long time, I'll probably just keep doing it like on the down low. But, if we like end up having kids, then maybe I'll like, oh, like I want to, get into the mom niche or I want to get kid stuff gifted to me. So maybe I might take it in that direction. And if we don't have kids, then, maybe I'll just keep it going the way it is. I feel like right now with my Instagram, I just have a bunch of like friends that I'm sharing stuff with. I don't feel like I'm really like shouting it out to the rooftops to the whole population. I really do feel like I have this like bubble of people who are always the ones liking and commenting and DMing me when I post stories and I kind of like it that way. It feels like I have a place to go where there's like-minded people that I can just vent to
Mhm.
about what's going on in the world or share these cool things with the sustainable fashion that I have this curated followership right now. I
Mhm.
worked really hard throughout my first several years of doing the Instagram stuff to really keep my audience pared down. If I noticed getting a lot of followers from like other countries and people who were not plus size fashion fans, I deleted all those followers. I removed them because I only wanted my space to be for women who or people who want to support plus size women in like a respectable way, not in a gross way.
Yeah.
So I think, I like to keep it a little low key. I like to protect the privacy, of my family a little bit more than I used to when I was just me.
Mhm.
I was kind of oversharing everything all the time, but now I like to keep some things for myself a little bit. So,
Yeah. Quality over quantity kind of thing. Yeah.
yes. Yes.
But if you're listening to this and you follow Nicole, you can also follow me. Hi.
Yes. Gotta get in on those iced coffee Fridays and all of the good stuff.
Yeah, I try. I try. You know, it only took years of me posting that before Scooters was like, "Hey, do you want to do something with us?" And I was like, "Yes."
That's awesome. Finally, my day has come.
earlier I do remember I thought of this while you were saying like, oh, I got an email from Fabletics and blah blah blah. Do you ever get worried that you're gonna get scammed? It's hard to tell who's legit and who's not. So how do you kind of
Yeah.
deal with that? I guess there's a question.
Yeah, so I I consider myself to be very tech savvy and aware of things. So I personally haven't been worried about getting scammed because I do my due diligence. Really simple things. If somebody is emailing you from a Gmail account, it's typically the first red flag because anybody can get any amount of Gmail accounts they want. And then obviously I started to learn what all the influencer platforms were, like I mentioned Aspire and you mentioned Kale, and there's all kinds of different ones where you start to become familiar with them. You see that that's the domain they're emailing from or from the brand domain, and just always making sure I'm doing things through official channels. Like if anything ever felt sketchy, I would say no. And I even had contract negotiations I would do sometimes where a brand is sending over a contract and I'm like, hey, actually, can you change this one thing because I don't like that part? Or like having to advocate for how much to get paid. You learn that kind of as you go, but just always double checking things. If something is sounds too good to be true, it
It
definitely
probably is.
is.
Yeah.
And so, like don't connect your Instagram to a sketchy platform. Like Google it first, like most things you can Google it, and like people will be posting on Reddit about it. They'll be posting on Facebook about it. You'll find a lot of that information out there. I am also part of the Meta creator community on Facebook, and I'm part of another influencer Facebook group where people would kind of post like, "Oh, heads up, here's a scam that's going around," or "Hey, is this a scam or is this legit?" I know, ironically, we're on a podcast right now. There's a huge scam with podcasts on Meta where people are claiming to be a podcast that, oh, we want you to be a guest. We're going to pay you to be a guest. Here's all. We need to do a pre-call though, and you need to share your screen. And they would be in their back end of their Meta account because they're like, oh, we're going to go live on Facebook, so we need you to do these things to set it up. And they were essentially giving the scammers access to their page, and the scammers would go and switch their monetization payout
Oh
method.
no.
So people were losing a lot of money. They were losing their whole pages, like that they've spent years building up. So just kind of trying to pause and use common sense. Check the email domain. If you're ever questioning it, DM the brand on Instagram and say, hey, did you email me about this? Or hey, are you working with this person who emailed me? Because it's not worth losing all of your
Right.
money and all of your followers to a scam just because you got really excited about
Yeah.
something.
I'll get DMs on Instagram sometimes from people that are like, it's a lot of jewelry brands, it seems like, and it's wear this, blah blah blah, and then I'll click on the page and I'm like, you have like 4 followers or something. You know what I mean? That's also
Yeah.
part of it. I don't know. They just
Yeah,
all seem.
they create fake pages just to send all the influencer outreach to, and then those aren't like real pages at all.
Yeah.
And they usually want you to pay for shipping, and it's like a drop shipping thing where they don't make the jewelry, they just set up
Yeah.
a website where they sell the jewelry and they want people to promote it. And it gets a little bit cringy when you know about that stuff and then you see the people fall for it and they're promoting the brand and you're like, "Oh no." Like, you wanted to be an influencer so bad that you,
Yeah.
like, fell for the first
Yeah.
trick, and I do feel bad for people like that, but I'm also like, "Come on, this is the Wild West on the internet, you have to protect yourself."
Yeah. I also get, not all the time, but a good handful of older guys, but I'm also assuming they're bots or something, that are like, I want you to be my sugar baby. You don't have to do anything bad. I'll just pay you and blah, blah, blah. And so a lot of times I'll just send my Venmo and I'm like, okay, pay me then.
Yes, those have been very prevalent throughout the years, and,
No.
I hope it works for some person. I hope they're making a bunch of money with their Instagram sugar daddies, but I don't think it works out
Yeah.
for most.
Yeah. Even when I monetized my Facebook and Instagram pages a couple of years ago, and the most I've ever made in a month was only like $250. Usually I get like way less than that, but I'm like, if I'm
Yep.
gonna be posting, I might as well get something, you know what I
Yes,
mean?
100%. I right now, with the level that I post, I think the invoices that I got sent this like last week was 12 cents on one platform and 17 cents on the other platform. I was like, yeah, like they don't even pay it out until it reaches $5. So
Yeah,
I'm just like,
I'll
slowly
see it
waiting. But
eventually. Yeah.
when they first came out with the bonus program for Reels on Instagram, like there was a month I made over $900.
Nice.
So it was good. And like I knew somebody who was monetized on Facebook in the beginning, and she was making as much money from her Facebook monetization as she made from her corporate job.
Nice.
So that was like, I don't think that's the case anymore, but people were making good money
Well, and
for a
even
while.
the couple times where I did get up to 200 or close to 300, I'm like, what did I do this month that was so different? I don't feel like I did anything.
It's
It's a fickle,
so
fickle
random.
place. I
Yes.
don't know.
They
But
decide that one post that got 3 likes somehow made a bunch of money, but another post that got 70 didn't count for some reason. Yeah.
yeah. And it's so true, like you said, sure, it could be the authenticity, like you said, of the stuff you take more time on and edit doesn't do as well. But even when I worked in radio, we would do like feature stories for the website or just funny local, check this out. And if I actually did a lot of research on something or like even called around and got quotes or whatever, it would do. But if I just did some sort of post about, I don't know, Halloween
Like a
candy.
celebrity or something.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
like even just like my favorite candy. It would be like amazing. And I'm like, that took me 3 minutes.
We
And I
all
just like
need to
buzzed
know
it
what
out.
Tasha's Please tell us what your favorite candy is. We must know.
Yeah.
We hear your voice on the radio every morning.
It
We
was
need to
just
know what candy you eat.
it was just the more time you spend on something, the way you're not going to get as much back from it. It's just how the world works for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it. Unless you have anything, is there anything you want to promote or push or anything?
No.
Speak now
No.
or forever hold your peace, I guess.
Nope. No. Don't have anything to promote. Just, shop local, shop your local stores. Seriously, the downtown Sioux Falls stores are struggling right now so hard. So if you're in downtown Sioux Falls, or if you are listening from somewhere else, go to your local businesses. Like try to look up the business, or what is it, the Chamber of Commerce. Just find something that you don't support now and start supporting it. Find somebody who believes in the same causes that you do, and lift them up so that they can keep doing what they're doing, because they're not going to be able to do it if we don't support them in whatever way we can, whether it's just following and sharing their stuff or it's spending money there.
I agree. I get it. I hear you, sister. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Talking with Tasha. Shop local, support your local restaurants, shops, boutiques, whatever it is. Do what you can to help your local peeps when you can. I want to thank Nicole for being a guest on this episode of Talking with Tasha, and I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for giving me a follow on all my socials. They are all linked at talkingwithtasha.com, and you can listen to Talking with Tasha at talkingwithtasha.com or on Apple, Spotify, Pandora, and Amazon. If you'd like to send me a message, you can do so via social media or email me, talkingwithtashapod@gmail.com. Make sure you rate, review, subscribe, comment, like, share, tell all your friends. And this episode was a lot about social media, so go ahead and give me and Nicole a like, a comment, a share. Do all the things. We appreciate you. I think there's only one thing left to do. Be safe, make good choices, wash your hands. Just try to be a good person. Stay hydrated. And peace out. Brussels sprout. Bye.